Wow, what a day in history. 10 years ago, today, July 23rd, One Direction was officially formed. Honestly, a day that changed this world for the better.
Hey, let's talk.
I love One Direction, and today is their anniversary of 10 years. And I'm recording this a couple weeks prior to that. And there's a lot of rumors going around that they're going to release something on the anniversary. Some people are getting a little excited that it's going to be new music, but I doubt that's going to happen. But if that does somehow happen, check on me. Like, genuinely, if you're listening to this and they did something, you should text me and see if I'm alive. Anyway, because of their anniversary, I thought I'd record a little episode today to celebrate. Naturally, I have a couple One Direction themed episodes planned, and they're all pretty intricate, so I thought I'd go with a simple one today. I'm going to tell a quick little story, and then I threw up a post on my Instagram story of my senior year. I was in yearbook at my high school, and I snuck a picture of One Direction onto one of our dance pages, like the homecoming page. I snuck a picture of One Direction in there, and genuinely, no one saw it till it got printed. So I threw that video on my Instagram story and told people to send me um, their craziest One Direction story, because I think genuinely 60% of my friends I've made because of One Direction. So I knew some of my girlies out there would have some good stories. So I'm going to tell a quick story, and then I have voice memos from a couple people telling their crazy One Direction stories. And I cried laughing so hard when I was listening to these. So make sure you stay tuned to the end. Anyway, I don't know if this is appropriate to tell on the 10-year anniversary, because do I still have anger towards him? Absolutely. But I'm going to tell the story about the day Zayn left One Direction. And this is a very somber story to tell on their anniversary, which should be celebrated. But the other stories I have are either A, too embarrassing, or B, also too sad, aka the 4 times I was supposed to meet One Direction, they all fell through. And I just don't think we should open that wound right now. So this one I'm able to laugh about to this day. So, way back my senior year of high school, no, my junior year of high school, yes, whatever the day was, I don't even remember. I should know. I feel like there's 4 dates in One Direction history that every fan should know, and this is one of them, but it's way too scarring for me that I have blocked it out of my memory. So I'm sitting in econ class, and this was the peak of my One Direction phase. Like, I had bought multiple tickets to see them on that tour they were on. So this is mid-tour. They've been out for a bit on the road. And also, disclaimer, Zayn was my favorite. Like, Zayn was my everything. I loved him so much. Now, Harry was a quick second. And honestly, always number one in my heart. But I, like, wanted to be different. And, like, every girl liked Harry, so I liked Zayn. Anyway, I love Zayn. I'd never seen them live at this point, so I was so excited to finally see Zayn live, and I am really pumped. So I'm sitting in econ class my junior year in the back of the room, and we would sit in little tables. So I'm sitting in a table across from my best friend Christopher. Shout out to you, Christopher. And we're watching a like Civil War reenactment movie in econ, and my table is next to my teacher's desk. And our teacher was also my cross country coach, so I knew him really well. But he was pretty strict, and in class, like, you couldn't really, like, leave to go to the bathroom or, like, leave to, like, go get things, one of those vibes. Couldn't have phones out, couldn't, I don't even think we could eat food in that classroom. Anyway, you get the vibe. So I'm sitting in class, and Christopher, being the charming boy he is, but also rule breaker he is, he would, like, go on his phone during class. So we're watching the Civil War reenactment movie. Christopher has his phone on, like, the lowest brightness and is, like, looking at something, whatever. And his back is technically to the screen. and I'm facing him. And he he just looks at his phone and looks up at me and like makes a face and then looks down at his phone. And I just remember mouthing like, "What?" And he slides his phone over the desk to me, and it's just the infamous tweet from One Direction. And it has a link, and I open it, and it was the post they made that Zayn was leaving One Direction. And honestly, as I say this out loud, I'm getting chills. I have never felt heartbreak like that in my life. I'm literally tearing up. So I am in shock, and I think Christopher's pranking me. So I'm like, oh, haha, like whatever. And he's just staring at me, and he starts like laughing. And I was like, this can't be real. And I realized that it is the verified One Direction account. I like go onto his Twitter feed, and it's just people talking about what's happening with One Direction. So I start bawling. It's so there are tears streaming down my face. So I get up from my desk, I walk over to my teacher slash coach, and I say, I need to go to the bathroom. And he says, Isabel, you can't go to the you're not allowed to go to the bathroom. I said, I I'm leaving. And I walk out the door. Bold move. I walk out the door and I go to the bathroom and I bawl my eyes out. Literally, I'm bawling crying. I think I have pictures of this, to be completely honest, so I will post them on the Instagram account. If you don't follow us on Instagram yet, it's collective.sound. And I'm bawling my eyes out, and I had my phone in my back pocket. I break out my phone, and all my friends are texting me, like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, all my One Direction girlies that I went to school with. So I cry in the bathroom until the bell rings. So as the bell rings, I go back to my econ class, I grab my backpack, and I go upstairs to my locker. And as I was crying in the bathroom, I texted my mother and I said, Mom, I need you to call me out of school. And another little background information, my mom is not the type to call me out of school. She loves me dearly, but I wasn't the type who I like could be like, oh, I don't feel well, I'm gonna stay home from school today. Like, she'd be like, no, you're going to school. So by some miracle, she was like, okay. I don't even think I told her that One Direction broke up, basically, is what we all thought was happening. We didn't know if they would go on as four. So I go upstairs to my locker and I pack my backpack, and people are just passing me. Like, I had One Direction posters in my locker. Like, that's the girl I was in high school. And people are passing me like so concerned because I'm still bawling my eyes out. There's other girls also crying in the hallway. It honestly kind of felt like an apocalypse, but everything also happened in slow motion like it would in a movie. So I'm crying. People are coming up and hugging me. Like, it's like a family member passed away. Like, that's how people were treating me. So I pack my things, and I remember the hallway being empty, and I was still like grabbing something. And my friend Brady, who was dating one of my friends at the time, passed me. He goes, Isabel, I'm so sorry. And I just couldn't stop crying. So I got in my car, I went home, and my friend Julia, who we met through One Direction or maybe a different band, but we were like online friends, and we were going to meet in a couple months at a One Direction show. She lived in California and I lived in Wisconsin, and we were meeting in the middle to go to a show, and I was going to meet her there. And we FaceTimed each other, I think, for 6 hours and just cried on the phone. Like, both laid in our beds and cried on the phone. And I cried for days and days and days and days and days. Like, how ridiculous is that? And my life was never the same. And it was funny, I tweeted something recently about it, and multiple people from my high school that I haven't talked probably since high school, so probably in the last 4 years, responded and said, like, Isabel, I remember you on this day so vividly. And another girl was like, I remember she was a One Direction fan. She goes, I remember reading the news and immediately going, I hope Isabel's okay. Anyway, that's the story of the time Zayn left One Direction. So yeah, I did a couple other crazy things, like I slipped them in my yearbook. My senior quote. Oh, I wish I had a picture of this. My senior quote, like in the yearbook, senior pages, I had two senior quotes, and one of them was, quote, One Direction ruined my life, end quote. Quoted by Isabel Pacey. Like, who did I think I was? That's so embarrassing. And like, I would Photoshop pictures of me and them together because I was so sad I never met them. I had a One Direction Tumblr account that had about, I think, over 100,000 followers. The at was One Direction's Accents because they had this like video they did on maybe it was just online. Was it the Adventures of One Direction? Wow, I'm dating myself now. I don't even know. I should know all this information. I like know their song lyrics better than I know my siblings' birthdays. Like, it's embarrassing. Anyway, that's just a little tidbit. I want to make this a mini-sode because it's a special episode for One Direction. It's off cycle for my releases, and so just wanted to give a little spice. So now what you've all been waiting for. Here are some crazy stories from my very, very dear friends about the times that they experienced One Direction. Take it away, ladies.
So one of the first road trips that I ever took was from Arizona up the coast of California to see a bunch of One Direction shows. And one night in San Diego, I had really good tickets. I was in like the third row and was enjoying the show and noticed that Harry was taking a sip from his Dasani water bottle. The next thing I know, he's throwing this Dasani water bottle into the crowd, into my general direction. And so my instinct was to jump and get the water bottle, and I actually did. And then for the rest of the show, I was just crying in hysterics because I had Harry's DNA sitting right with me at the show. So when the road trip was over, I went home, I went to the hardware store, picked up some wood, picked up some glass, and with the help of my dad, I created a shrine for this water bottle, this Dasani water bottle. And that shrine stood tall in my room for about 3 years, until my mom made the decision that it was no longer sanitary. And so when I went off to college, she took the shrine down and threw away that iconic Dasani water bottle. And my life has not been the same since.
So it's November 29th, 2012. I was like 14. One Direction was playing at Mohegan Sun. And basically Mohegan Sun's like this big casino, and they have like a hotel and like arena where they were playing, obviously. And they have like this system where they give tickets to members, and whatever tickets they don't end up giving away, they resell. So me and my friend were queuing to try and get tickets for the show. And because we lived kind of far, we got a hotel room. Well, everyone stays at that hotel if they're playing there, and One Direction had been there for the past couple days, so everyone knew where they were staying. So the hotel was absolutely insane. It was like kind of late, and the line for tickets wasn't like beginning yet, so we were trying to sit in the lobby to like talk and stay awake. And the lobby was all like obviously packed with hundreds of girls because it's One Direction and it's 2012. So we decided to try and find someplace more quiet to talk and hang out for the next couple hours. So we go down to the gym, like pool area. There's like a seating area right outside of where the gym and pool are. No one's down there. It's like 10:30 at night. There's only a couple people in the gym. So we sit down there and we're like playing music, we're talking. And after a little bit, we hear the elevator door open. And we're like, oh, weird, because it's like 11 o'clock at night. Why is anyone coming down to the gym? But we keep talking, and then all of a sudden we hear voices and like people walking towards us. And we like lower the music because we're trying not to embarrass ourselves. And we hear like an accent, and me and my friend both look at each other and we're like, oh my god. and we turn around, and it's fucking Harry Styles and 2 of his bodyguards, and, like, my friend freezes. I'm pretty sure my jaw drops. I make eye contact with him, and they immediately see, like, 2 teenage girls, and are like, fuck. So we make eye contact, and immediately, like, Harry breaks it and, like, looks down. He's wearing, like, this, like, navy hoodie, and he, like, his hood's up, and, like, my friend is, like, frozen in shock, and I just go, hi, Harry, and he goes, hello, and they walk past us, and I'm like, have a good workout, and he says, thank you, and then they swipe their card into the machine, and they go into the gym, and we're like, holy shit, and we're like, why didn't we ask for a picture? Oh my god. And we're like, we'll just wait here until he comes out, and then we'll ask. And immediately after, like, he kind of walks in, 2 moms, like, run out that were working out in there, and they're like, oh my god, that's Harry Styles, he's in the gym, we have to go tell our kids. And we're like, fuck, because obviously we didn't want this to get out. We're the only ones down there. So a few minutes later, the kids come down, and I guess the kids told their friends, and suddenly there's dozens of people down there, and then the rumor keeps spreading, and within like 15-20 minutes there's like 100 girls packed into this this little seating area. So obviously, like, security comes down. I remember being fucking Preston and being like, oh my god, it's Preston. And he starts yelling at everybody, being like, unless you're, like, you're actually working out, you need to get out of this area, or else we're going to have hotel security escort you off the property. And we're like, fuck, well, there goes our chances. So we go to leave, and then Preston, like, has us come over, and he starts accusing us of telling people, like, where Harry was, and that we, like, leaked that he was working out in the gym. And he was threatening to have us kicked off the hotel and, like, banned from like the casino. And we're like, no, like, I literally started crying. I was like 14, and I was like, it wasn't us, we would never do that, we didn't tell anybody, it was these moms who told their kids. And then all of a sudden it started spreading, and he was just like, okay, fine, okay, I just don't want to see you down here. So we went to the hotel room, and we were just fucking sobbing. And we checked the update accounts, and, like, obviously the rumor continued to spread. And there was hundreds of girls that changed in, like, workout clothes and went back down there and was mobbing him in the gym. And just, it was insane. They had to, like, sneak him out, like, the back exit of the gym. And it was literally insane.
So at the Otra tour, the Chicago date, all my friends had gotten a box, and were sitting up there and didn't ask me. And so I was like, well, fuck y'all, I'm gonna get a catwalk seat, y'all can stay in your box. So I got to my seat, and then texted a few of my other friends that were at the show who were in, like, the nosebleeds, and told them to come down, and sent them a screenshot of my ticket, as I do. And they all got down and, like, came to my seat after the show had started, so nobody, like, realized that we were all only at one seat. And my friend Tim walked to the bathroom and took off his underwear, like, before the show had started, and put it in his pocket, and came back. And I didn't know at the time, but then after, when the boys had finally, like, walked down the catwalk and were at the mini stage, which is where our seat was by, Tim threw his underwear on stage, and a few minutes later, Liam picked it up and used it to, like, dry the sweat off his face. And then looked at it and realized that it was a pair of boxers, and made the most disgusted face I have ever seen, and then threw it off stage. And we didn't realize until a few songs later, but we were all like, what just happened? And I still cannot get over it. It's so funny to me.
So I'm at One Direction during their On the Road Again tour at Levi's Stadium back in 2015. I was able to get meet and greet passes through my best friend's dad. And so I remember the day of, we were in this room somewhere in the stadium, and just, you could feel the anxiety in the air of everyone, like, freaking out, like, is this actually happening? And I remember Cal walked in first, and then following him was Lou and Lottie, and I think my jaw just dropped because I wasn't expecting Lou or Lottie to be there for some reason. And Lou just like, we made eye contact, and she just like smiled and waved at me. And then suddenly we hear this like noise coming down the hallway, and like lots of like bodies clearly moving. And so first Harry walks in, kind of like, well, the epitome of Cupcake Harry, and just like kind of like a baby reindeer, just walking in so excited with like that expression on his face. And he sees this little girl that's a couple people in front of me. She's probably about like 2 or 3, so like really little girl. And he decides to go and try and talk to her, but she gets scared and hides behind her mom's legs. So he like feels so bad, so he stands up and he goes, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare her." And like, "Oh no, it's fine." And so he walks back to where Louie, Liam, and Niall are, you know, waiting for like to start taking pictures with people. And we finally get up there, and I go to hug Liam first, and then I go to hug Harry. But my friend and I kind of like want to hug him at the same time. So we both like paused and then started again walking. And it was like the awkward, like, what? So Harry was kind of like a baby dinosaur and had his arms like, I don't know, moving each way towards each of us. And so finally my friend walked up and hugged him. And then he let go of her and he's just like, "Come here." So I went in and like walked up, gave him a hug. And all I remember is his ship tattoo just slowly coming closer and closer to my face until he's finally holding me. And I think that's the best hug I've ever received from anyone. And so let go of him and go to hug Niall. And Niall, I guess I like squeezed and I didn't even realize. I was honestly, I feel like I blacked out during that. But I squeezed him, and he was like, "Oh, that's a tight squeeze." And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like, "No, you're okay." And so then I hugged Louie, and Louie's, you know, super chill. And he just smelled like a really strong cologne and then also cigarettes. And throughout the whole like meet and greet, Louie and Niall were like sandwiching people between them, like giving them hugs, which was funny. So they were just like, you know, joking with each other the whole time. And so finally we took our picture, which I don't even remember taking. And then we're ushered out of the room super fast. And I just cried in the hallway walking back to find my seat. And that was the day I met One Direction.
Hello. We are One Direction.
If you've made it this far, I'm sorry I had to do that.
We're really funny.
Are we?
We are, aren't we? The laughs we have.
Between me and
we
you.
have some laughs.
Pranks, laughs.
And I also had to throw that one in. Okay, I'm actually done this time. I'm sorry. I love One Direction. Bye.